Okay, we're back. We're back. I would like to introduce the two co-chairs for the UN Student Leadership Conference on Development. They were part of a team of 31 people that met on Friday in New York City to put together the final draft for you to work on, decide on leadership responsibility, and who was going to be doing what. And at the end of the day, they had an election to see who would be the leaders conducting this entire conference. And they decided on two co-chairs. One to my left is Mackenzie Moyer, and to her left is Brian Friedman. I would like to step out of the picture now and turn over your conference to one of your two co-leaders, Mackenzie Moyer, to take us through the conference itself. Mackenzie?
Thank you. Hello and welcome. Whether you are here in New York City, participating from the Omega School in India, the University of Makati City in the Philippines, the Colegio Corral Bar in Mexico City, the Karachi High School in Pakistan, or the Kuvuna Youth Leadership Institute in the Democratic Republic of Congo, it is an honor to come together today. We are gathered for a common goal, to attain a better world through peaceful and just change. Today, we are keeping in mind the United Nations pending Sustainable Development Goals and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. These documents help us to focus and will guide our vision. Many people with more prestigious names than any of us have united under the same cause and in this very building. But that does not mean that the work we do today is any less important. The ideas ignited here will burn as long and as brightly as we let them. There is so much that is hurting around the world, so many problems that lack solutions. There are children that are malnourished, girls who are raped on their way to school, villages burned to the ground, and an earth that cannot breathe, for pollution is choking it. So how do we, as teenagers, so young in this world, begin to tackle these complex world issues? We must unite. We must listen to each other and appreciate our differences and our plethora of experiences. We must hold hands across borders, across seas and mountains, and stare these beasts and fears and troubles in the face. We cannot be afraid. We may not be bigger than this, but together we are stronger. Thank you, and here's to a day of hard work. I would now like to introduce our facilitator for session 1, Michelle Amin.
Thank you, Mr. Wayne Jacoby and Ms. Mackenzie Moyer, for the wonderful opening remarks. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle Asim, and I'm the facilitator for Session 1. It is my great honor to introduce and welcome you to the 4th Annual UN Student Leadership Conference on Development. There are 4 video conferencing sites. The first one is the Omega High School in Chennai, India. You have 5 to 7 minutes to introduce yourselves.
Namaste, friends. We are a group of 41 students from Lalaji Memorial Omega International School in Chennai who have been working for about 6 weeks researching and sharing our ideas on the 4
We're not getting
designated
any audio from you. There we go. Thank you.
Namaste, friends. We are a group of 41 students from Lalaji Memorial Omega International School in Chennai who have been working for about 6 weeks researching and sharing our ideas on the 4 designated sub-themes for today's conference. We would like to thank GEM, FCB and UNICEF Voices of Youth for inviting us and providing us with this wonderful opportunity, and to the United Nations for hosting. We would like to offer our support and prayers to our brothers and sisters in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Pakistan. We cannot even begin to imagine the situations that you are facing, and we greatly admire and respect your commitment to this effort and the courage that you and the people of your countries show in the face of adversity. our prayers are always with you. All of us have felt pain seeing people suffer, and it is this pain that has driven us to work and want to be a part of the movement for change. We believe that if each of us does our own bit, then all these little bubbles of change will coalesce to encompass the whole world and bring about harmony and well-being for all. Preparing for the conference has really helped us grow as individuals. Although we were somewhat aware of the problems India faces, we were unaware of the extent. We didn't know how we could implement solutions, even though many of them were viable. Working on these issues has helped us realize new and different perspectives to various problems. We experienced that the deeper we delved into the problems, the more determined that we became to look for solutions and for ways to implement them. While researching the different sub-teams, we discovered there are many NGOs that we didn't know existed working for people's betterment. In this process, we have improved our skills in communication and teamwork. Through discussions with our peers, we have learned how to express our thoughts, and by listening to others' ideas, we hope we have become more open-minded. We want to emphasize that although we have focused on how we would like to take action in our own country, we hope we can support you in your countries in any ways that are feasible. We realize sadly that not everybody has the opportunity to express his or her views, and the voices of those in need are often subdued. As leaders, we must be the voice of the suppressed. Leaders must be committed to the cause and ideals of the teams or communities they belong to. As student leaders, we endeavor to be humble, responsible, and inspirational, and spark the urge to change the world in ourselves and others. While valuing his or her own ideas, the leader should consider and try to include all reasonable opinions and views. Student leaders can help to create more leaders in the society and be a key to unlock opportunities for people who have been denied them. We must never give up and shouldn't leave a single stone unturned in the quest for a more just and compassionate world.
We understand that while implementing our action plan, we may face problems and obstacles. One such concern may be the lack of funds or the arbitrary misuse of available resources. We may have to face opposition from local bodies and the people themselves. Some prevalent social prejudices and stereotypes may prevent people from accepting ideas that we believe could bring about positive changes. In terms of practicality, it may be a challenge for students like us to balance studies with such humanitarian endeavors. Procrastination and the fear of failure may prevent us from reaching out and helping as much as we want to or can. It is thus crucial that we retain the intensity of concern that has developed in us in the course of this conference work and keep it alive to become responsible global citizens. To be realistic, we will start with implementing our suggestions and ideas by liaising with our own local communities. We are proud to say that here at Omega, we are coming to understand the vitality of maintaining a balance with nature, and that responsibility goes hand in hand with progress and sustainable development. Our school has adopted a part of a local canal that runs beside the campus to clean it and make it a biodiversity hotspot. We have worked hard to make the campus litter-free and clean. All the wastewater produced is treated by a modern sewage treatment plant and is reused for gardening. The campus also includes a biogas plant which processes leftover food into cooking fuel for the kitchen. A recycling plant has been set up to recycle used paper and make attractive paper products. Solar panels have been installed around the school grounds to provide electricity for lighting and heating water. Students are regularly taken on nature walks and field trips to understand the beauty and harmony of nature and the importance of conserving it. On one of these walks, one of our students was able to identify over 40 different species of birds within the Omega campus. Our school's guiding principle is service to humanity, and in an effort to contribute to that belief, we have adopted a nearby government school and have helped in improving the facilities there by building 2 classrooms and donating educational resources. We also spend time with and learn from the children in the hope that they have a better and happier education.
We hope to have an exchange of ideas and work alongside others. We realize that persistent actions involve both commitment and concern, and most importantly, empathizing with the pain and suffering of those we wish to support. The message that we would like to share with you all is that we are aware of the need for human dignity and how important it is for us to have respect for all people and their way of life. Can we learn from each other and come together as one with dedication and desire to serve? We need to step into the shoes of others, try to understand with our hearts as well as our minds the depth of their problems, and find solutions that can be implemented practically, making the world a better place. We, the students of Omega, are eager to learn from those already working in this field and are committed to doing our part to bring little change in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, the Omega School from Chennai, India. It is our great honor to work with you on this very special day. Your ideas and contributions are very impressive. The second video conferencing site is Colegio Carol Bor in Mexico City, Mexico. Welcome to the conference. You have 5 to 7 minutes to introduce yourselves.
Good morning. On behalf of Dra. Sandra Maldonado, Fundación Cultural Bor, and Colegio Carol Bor, we would like to express our gratitude to the United Nations for inviting us to take part in this conference. We are very excited to participate and are looking forward to discussing environmental responsibility and reaching resolutions with the students from various schools around the world. Here at Colegio Carol Bor, we have discussed environmental sustainability extensively, primarily focusing on sanitation and clean water, and finding the ways in which we can contribute to making this world a better and cleaner place for all. In conclusion, we believe that education is key to bring about change, for if you are educated, you are conscious of the change that needs to be made.
Young people are sure and convinced that education is basis and foundation of every society, where the ideal should be to have a balanced life with its environment to benefit not only them, but every living being. While studying the themes that will be covered in this video conference, we discovered that the way to solve and succeed is always education, no matter social, economic, or cultural status, not even beliefs. We have to change the way we think. We should not be greedy. We should not be thinking of having more and more of everything. We should think that the correct use of our resources will eventually give this and future generations of living beings a better and a healthier environment. Paraphrasing Victor Hugo, the worst kind of misery is lack of education.
A healthy body and mind that is educated will let us be creative, innovative, and will lead to solve problems that affect nature and that will eventually spoil the only home we have, our planet. Using adequate agricultural, breeding, and fishing procedures will protect our environment and at the same time render the best results. If you belong to a self-sustainable community, or if you go to the market, having access to better and more varied food that will provide a good nutrition is one of the most important facts for a good development. Everybody should be personally committed to adequate use of resources to avoid pollution. If really every person who lives in this world did this, we would not be facing the destruction we are suffering, and we would not be in such critical condition. So what are we going to change? All efforts are important. We have to contribute with a grain of sand. Reduce your energy consumption. More than 80% of energy comes from fossil fuels. Just using saving bulbs reduces carbon dioxide emissions by around 300,000 pounds per year every year.
Take advantage of sunlight. Put off and unplug electric devices you are not using. Choose a car that saves gas. Drive without accelerating or stopping brusquely. Buy recycled products. Reuse and recycle paper. Avoid disposable articles. Speak up and shout loud if somebody is destroying the woods. Prevent deforestation. Plant trees, many trees. 3 trees capture 1 ton of CO2 during their lifetime. Avoid hazardous actions that may cause forest fires.
Sanitation and clean water. Water is one of the most important things for a living being to survive. A living creature can live a longer time drinking water than eating as much healthy food. Water crisis is a term used to refer to the world's water resources relative to human demand. The term has been applied to the worldwide water situation by the United Nations and other world organizations. The Earth has a finite supply of fresh water, stored in aquifers, surface waters, and the atmosphere. Sometimes oceans are mistaken for available water, but the amount of energy needed to convert saline water to potable water is simply prohibitive, although many experiments have been made.
Population has increased and every day more water is needed. We are simply running out of it. Unless population growth can be slowed quickly, which is something that is very improbable, it is feared that there may not be a practical, non-violent, or humane solution to the emerging water shortage. Climate is changing, and it is raining now in places where it did not rain before. But unfortunately, there is no practical way to use rainwater. Collecting it and storing it has only recently begun to be experimented with, and only individually in different homes. But storing water without the necessary structure can also lead to the breeding of mosquitoes.
The worst of all happens in certain regions in Africa, where people really suffer, and it's said that the individual supply of water per day there is the same in liters than the water we use every time we flush the toilet. Water scarcity forces people to rely on safe sources of drinking water. It also means they cannot bathe or clean their clothes or homes properly. This can lead to many diseases. Let us have this in mind at all times, in our homes and in our lives. Water is an essential resource to sustain life. If every person saves 1 liter of water per day, how many liters would be saved daily?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colegio Carol Bar in Mexico City, for the wonderful opening remarks. It is an absolute delight to have you here with us. Together, we have the power to step up and truly make a difference as young leaders of the world. Now, I would like to introduce the third site, which is in Makati City, Philippines. You have 5 to 7 minutes to introduce yourselves.
Mabuhay! Mabuhay from the Philippines! Special greeting, cash relay is how we greet each other in the foundation. And that means I honor the greatness in you. So we honor the greatness in each and every one of you out there. I would like to tell you that we're very impressed with the introductions of India and Mexico. But here in the Philippines, it's not one school, but many, many schools from all over the archipelago. We are actually about 272 student leaders here that yes, can we show the two plants? Can we show everybody? And everybody can wave, please. Okay. There you are. Can you see us? Can you hear us?
Yes, we can see you. And we can hear you.
We can hear you. And we gathered at 5 o'clock this afternoon. So there was a Philippines segment wherein we had the Undersecretary from the Department of Energy. We also had several people from civil society doing environmental causes. We had a representative from WWF and also from the private sector, Youth Guide Corporation, that has set up a climate change academy here in the Philippines. So without further ado, I would like to share with you the team. So let me pass on the mic to...
Hi everyone, Mabuhay from the Philippines, and we are gathered here to work on our action plans for the team for this year. We have here with me the group leaders of each subjects, and they will be introducing their groups.
Best morning or evening to our friends in India, Mexico, Pakistan, Congo, New York, and to other sites. We, the Filipino youth who are attending this conference, would like to thank this opportunity that is given to us. This is very important and significant in the days of our lives as youth. We in the nutrition and food security would like to share to you later the key challenges that we see in the food and nutrition, and food security. We also figured out proposed solutions to address these challenges. So without further ado, we hope that we can contribute to a better world. So yes, let's do this.
As part of the team in environmental responsibility business, we see ourselves as we may be young in the youth sector, but we are part of consumers who have the power of information in this new age, where we can use social media as part of our strengths in maintaining information towards consumers, in having accountability for the business sector. And this, we believe, in our group, is one of the biggest strengths of the youth sector to make change in our society.
Hello everyone, I'm Gugu from the education sector. In the status quo, education has become a privilege more than a right. For years we have struggled to have a free and quality education, and a lot of states are still deprived of such. Schools provide training grounds and shape the values of the students while honing them to become holistically developed individuals and future leaders. The education group will be excited to present our solutions and action plans to the problems we are facing. Thank you.
For Slogan B, sanitation and clean water, we aim to provide innovative ideas, both short-term and long-term solutions for the pressing problems due to the abusive use of water resources in order to improve the lives of people who suffer from the problems brought to us by the lack of proper care or use by those people in the past generations in order to protect the present generations and the next preceding generations to come. Therefore, we are excited as well to present later our action plans for the problems presented by different countries. Okay.
Do we have 5 more minutes? No, it's okay. So we wish everybody a very productive day there. We will be it's 11 p.m. and so we will be staying up until 3 a.m. for a better world. This is the Philippines.
Thank you so much, Makati City, Philippines, for the lovely introduction. It is an absolute delight to see the enthusiasm in each one of you. We are excited to participate with you in today's event. With this friendly manner and positive attitude, we can truly make a difference. Our fourth and final video conferencing site is the U.S. delegates, which is us. I'm from Jamaica Gateway to the Sciences, and the majority of the students here that are U.S. delegates are from Gateway as well. So we are a school located in Queens, New York, and we have worked diligently for the draft plan of action. Our main sub-theme was sub-theme A, sanitation and clean water, and we all focused on one sub-theme so we could have a better research and more point of views and discussions all on the same topic. And it was an amazing introduction from every one of you, and we are looking forward to today. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to give the microphone to Mr. Brian so he could do the introduction of the UN speaker. Thank you very much.